Order! Order! You are an incorrigible delinquent at times. Behave yourself, man!
Now, Mothercare today became the latest high street retailer to warn it's facing major difficulties, announcing plans to shut stores and slash rents. It came as new figures showed that shoppers are deserting shops up and down Britain, the biggest decline since the last recession. Our consumer editor Chris Choi went to Stoke-on-Trent, which is one of the country's highest number of empty shops.
In a town centre of shops that have closed, Amanda Bromley is opening for business. Her art store now surrounded by casualties of this fight for survival.
The shops around us, there's quite a number of them have gone empty, and they unfortunately stay empty for quite some time, and that does cause a lot of problems in the town. There's been a report that has been out for the last 3 years, which has put, unfortunately, this town at the bottom of the list. You know, having the most shop fronts closed in the country.
Today, new figures showed almost 1 in 10 UK high street shops are now empty. Footfall has plunged almost 5% over a 2-month period, the worst since recession in 2009. Meanwhile, consumer spending in UK shops is down 5.4% year on year, the steepest decline for 6 years.
There still remains, surrounding the Old Town Hall, a group of 80 premises, mostly shops having architectural qualities.
Footage from the 1950s shows the high street was once the very heart of this community. This is that same spot today, and when you see the difference between then and now, you get a real sense of the vibrancy that is lost when shops close. Here, 1 in 3 outlets are now shut, with the bank and market also gone. These shoppers remember better days and say local shops are vital.
I think the role is to be there for the community and make the community. It's all one, isn't it? The people and the shops. I mean, it's so sad that it's getting lost.
Well, it's the same in most towns. Everyone shops online or goes to the big places. You don't get the personal touch, do you? The little shops are important.
But today's dismal retail figures serve as yet another reminder that in many places shopping on the high street isn't just changing, it's dying. Chris Choi, ITV News in Stoke-on-Trent.
Now, the death of the high street shopping has been predicted many times, but figures out today do appear to confirm a marked change in how we buy things. The last couple of months have seen visits to shops drop by almost 5%, the worst March and April since the recession almost 10 years ago. Several well-known chains are in trouble, with shoppers taking their custom online. Our business editor, Siobhan Kennedy, reports from the seaside town of Worthing in Sussex.
Toys R Us, Maplin, Carpetright, New Look and the latest Pound World. All major brands, all now victims of the bleakest period the high street has faced for a decade. We're in the seaside town of Worthing, where the sun may be shining, but amid the bustle and the bunting, the letting signs loom and empty shops languish. Today, the latest shopping figures confirming the worst, that consumers are spending even less time on our high streets.
Despite its relative affluence, the South East surprisingly has seen one of the biggest falls in shoppers coming to the high street, down nearly 5% in the year. Now that's because here, as everywhere, consumers are tightening their belts thanks to a weak economy. The squeeze is on. But it's also because more and more of us are shopping online. And when we do come to the high street, it's for the so-called experience spend on pubs and restaurants rather than retail.
A lot of us are seeking more leisure experiences, so we're not necessarily buying as much retail product as we once did. But of course, when we do go shopping, we have the choice of shopping in-store or making our purchases online. And even if we don't make our purchase online, we can make our choices online. And that means we visit fewer retailers when we do go out to retail destinations.
Now, almost 1 in 10 shops in Britain's town centres stand empty, and visits to shops across the UK in the past 2 months have dropped by nearly 5%, the worst since the recession almost 10 years ago. While in-store spending has seen the steepest fall for 6 years, as shoppers spend more and more online.
Should you shop less online?
No, probably not.
It's progress.
Well, yeah, it's just life, isn't it? Yes, you know, it's sort of, it's what happened, it's change. So I'm probably just doing what lots of other people do.
Yeah, I don't spend much on the high street, to be honest. Tend to spend it online when I need it. I don't really have time to go shopping anymore with 2 children and a job.
I think probably traditional retail shops are changing, but I think the high street has had to change. So we've got more cafes, more beauty salons, more hairdressers, and that's the nature of the high street's changed quite a bit.
Not adapting quick enough to that changing nature and the force of online has been the death knell for retailers like Toys R Us and Maplin.
Wow, Dolce Vita, that's big on the eyes.
But those reflecting the evolving habits of shoppers, particularly millennials, are thriving. Like makeup brand Charlotte Tilbury, that counts Kate Moss among its biggest fans.
This is Charlotte's Magic Mirror, where you can try on 10 looks in under 60 seconds.
In-store technology like this and so-called retail theatre is exactly the kind of essential feature that's driving the modern shopping experience.
Presumably the old way, just coming in and looking and buying our products.
It's not enough anymore, no.
What does that mean?
Well, I think it's bridging those two worlds, because the younger consumers are more on the mobiles and they have the convenience from the online worlds and the e-commerce, and that's all. But you have the spaces too, and they really look forward to go to those spaces when they offer them something beyond a product. So it's bridging those two worlds.
Bridging those two worlds, it's something that so many high street shops are failing to do. Of course, when they do, it's not just the shops that shut, but the jobs that go too. In the past year alone, more than 13,000 lost, as Britain's biggest brands continue to go bust.
Siobhan Kennedy in Worthing.